Doylestown traffic, Tomahawk departing runway 5 will be a north departure, or northeast departure, Doylestown.
Doylestown traffic 345 Bravo turning crosswind runway 5 Doylestown.
Greetings everyone and welcome aboard. This is Mike, the Chili Dog pilot. So we're taking off again in the Tomahawk. The plan today was to do a couple practice instrument approaches. As you can see, it's a VFR day and I'm also solo, so we're not going to be using any view limiting devices and these approaches are not going to be loggable. But my real intent is really just to practice hand flying as well as check out the Garmin Pilot app. I've been using it for about 2 months now. I'm really liking the smart chart functions. I previously had been a ForeFlight user, and I know ForeFlight just introduced something very similar. All that being said, I'm still leaning towards the Garmin. I like its functionality better, and that's kind of where I'm sitting right now, but I haven't made a full, complete decision on which way I'm going to commit. So that being said, sit back, enjoy. There's a few lessons I've picked up out of this flight today, and I'll debrief about those later, but welcome aboard.
Doylestown traffic 345 Bravo, downwind runway 5 Doylestown.
Okay, we're going to do a practice RNAV approach into Quakertown. It's a VFR day. I'm just doing this as a practice, flying the approach. Also, I'm wanting to record and check out the Garmin
runway 29 Quakertown.
smart charts. I have typically used ForeFlight, but I've had a bit of interest in Garmin.
Quakertown, Skyhawk 269 Fox Golf, left downwind runway 29 Quakertown.
Okay, so we're level at 2500. What I am going to do here is I'm going to do one hold, just to practice that hold, see how that works in the...
Summit traffic, helicopter 93 Golf Papa, right downwind 29 Summit.
It has me going on the approach, so we're going to go ahead and turn. And our next approach point is 1900 feet, so we'll get set up for the approach. Fuel pump is on. We're going to take it down to 2,000 RPMs. And our descent point here is 1900. Okay, so for our brief, we'll be able to pull it up right here. So basically we are flying the 29 approach into Quakertown. We need to cross Silda, which is 6 miles from us at 1900. And then...
traffic, you have a Starlane 10 miles to the east, inbound 2A RNAV. Summit, yeah, 269 Fox Golf, left base, runway 29, Quakertown, 29, Summit.
Traffic 988 Bravo Zulu, short final 10, will break off for any traffic using 28 in the pattern.
Quakertown traffic, Archer 468 Fox traffic is clear of 29 Quakertown.
Okay, so our MDH is basically 920 feet at 1 mile. So I'm going to make a quick call, let them know we're coming in, and we will divert if necessary due to traffic. And Quakertown traffic, Tomahawk is 10 miles out, practice VOR, or RNAV 29, will break away depending on traffic, Quakertown.
Quakertown 269, Fox Golf on final runway 29, Quakertown. Final for 29, Summit.
Okay, so with the Tomahawk, 2,000 RPMs will get us about 90 knots on the approach. So that's a nice approach configuration for us. I can already see the runway from here, so now we're just descending down, leveling off at 1900 until we intercept the LPV glide path, and then from there we will follow that down to the runway, and then like I said, if we are in the way of any traffic in the pattern, we'll go ahead and break off about a mile, mile and a half out. Yeah, it's a nice clear day, and I don't know if you can see it on the GI 275, but our velocity vector pathway icon is right over the runway already.
Princeton, 3 November, about 8 miles to the north, going to enter the 45 left downwind runway 28 Princeton.
So here's why I'm liking Smart Charts. First of all, it provides both the brief and the miss in a very simple and easy to read manner at the top of the chart. The instrument approach itself is depicted in a very clear and easy to follow manner in the middle of the section. And then there's a vertical path depiction at the bottom third. And if you know on the video here, the nose of the aircraft is your actual position, so you can see how you're doing relative to the vertical guidance.
We're 2 miles from Silda. We are at 1900.
289ers, about 7 miles.
I see the LPV glide slope starting to come in.
November insight. You guys got us insight?
Turn this down just a little.
No, I do not. 3 November. We're ahead of you, about 500 feet above. Going to descend soon. Still looking. 3 November.
And Quakertown traffic, Tomahawk is 5 miles on a straight in, RNAV 29. We can go missed if traffic dictates. Quakertown.
Quakertown traffic, Skyhawk is 4 miles to the south. I guess we'll enter on a 45 to left downwind 29. We'll be looking for the instrument traffic, Quakertown. Niners now beam the dome, about to fly over the quarry. Let us know when you have us in sight, please. And what else have you guys had? 2,300 descending. We're at 2,000. You got us? I lost you. You're behind us now.
Okay, we're starting our descent now off the LPV glide slope. So I'm lowering down to about 1,800 RPMs.
When you guys go down to 1,800. Copy that, going down to 1,800. Quakertown traffic 269 Fox Golf will be taking off from runway 29, departing to the east, Quakertown. Summit traffic, Sirius 54 Foxtrot Alpha, turning left crosswind for 17 Summit traffic. Princeton, 3 November, over top the dome, gonna enter 45 left downwind runway 28. Still don't have that other traffic in sight, Princeton.
Okay, 1 mile from Dunby, we're on the glide slope or just slightly above it. I see departing traffic, and I'm still looking for that traffic entering the downwind.
Quakertown traffic, White Skyhawk joining a 45 to left downwind 29, Quakertown. Hey, I got you guys inside. We're just slightly off to your right. We're going to be overflying the field at 1,800 and doing a teardrop. We'll try to get out of your way pretty quickly.
And Quakertown traffic, Tomahawk's on a 2 mile final for runway 29, full stop, Quakertown.
Quakertown, Skyhawk 269 Fox Golf just departed runway 29. We'll exit to the north on a right downwind, departure to the east, Quakertown. You guys get a teardrop entry to do that, let's go right in. Say again? Teardrop entry? Yes, sir. We'll do it a little bit tight. Okie doke.
Okay, mile and a half from the runway. We'll go ahead and start slowing it down for landing configuration. Picture's full, Rich. Fuel pump is on. 80 knots, so they'll go 1 notch of flaps. At this point, I'm going to go visual.
Overflying midfield, 1,800 feet, making teardrop entry into left 45, runway 28, Princeton.
Princeton, 3 November 2000, pretty much over the field. We're going to be following you guys, and 3 November, Princeton.
Okay, go full flaps, still at 70 knots.
269 Fox Golf, we're turning right downwind, we'll be departing to the east, Quakertown, climbing 2,500. Down traffic, blue and white Skyhawk 32 Echoes on the left downwind 29, you got the landing traffic and departing traffic inside Quakertown.
Okay, flaps are down. Quakertown traffic, Tomahawk departing runway 29 will be a west departure, Quakertown.
And Quakertown traffic ensuring is 4 miles to the southwest, going to enter a downwind for 29 for Quakertown.
Princeton, 3 November, going to be turning final runway 28, Princeton.
And Quakertown traffic, Tomahawk's turning left crosswind and departing to the southwest, Quakertown.
Orange traffic, going turning the left base runway 4.
Summit traffic, helicopter 93, Golf Papa, left base 11, Summit.
Okay, we're going to do the RNAV 2, or correction, RNAV 05 into Doylestown. We're northwest of Awissa, which is the approach point or approach fix into there. So what we're going to do is we'll do an entry into Awissa. We will do the procedure turn. The big thing here is we just want to make sure we stay out of the class Bravo, which is a 2,000 foot 2,000 foot floor. just outside of there. So we will make sure we do that as a somewhat tighter procedure turn. We'll do a opposite entry into that turning pattern, and then we will follow the GPS into runway 5. Like with the other one, we'll go mist if we need to. We'll stay out of the way of other traffic as much as possible, and we'll go from there.
November 705, Foxtrot, call clear left down to land 29.
Okay, so right now we're looking at the chart, the standard chart, FAA chart for the approach. You can see here where the aircraft is, as well as kind of the approach configuration. We know that the landing runway is 3,000 feet, and it's basically 394 degrees, so it's a touchdown zone, roughly 4,000 feet. So we'll fly to Awissa, do the reversal turn, and then track into the procedure. And then from a missed approach standpoint, we would make a climbing left turn to 3,000 feet and go back to Awissa and hold there. Now, if we switch to the smart chart, we can kind of see that graphically as well. And we'll just kind of pay attention to that. Real quick, I'm going to double check make sure we are tracking to not go into the Bravo, because that would not make for a good day for any of us. So let's just verify what our feelings are. Yeah, so basically it's 3,000, we're at 2,500 right now, so we're good on that regard. And then we will do the entry into the procedure turn and the hold to get us back on the approach fix. And then again, for this procedure, we do the brief off the smart chart. Pretty straightforward. It's a RNAV approach. It's runway 05. Our approach course will be 049. So I'm going to set 049 in the heading bug now. Okay, so we want to pass Wocus, which is the next fix after Awissa at 2,000 feet. We'll set 2,000, we'll hold 2,500 feet here. I think we'll be in good shape. And then
I'm running.
we will depart from there. So I'm going to switch over to Doylestown radio just to kind of hear what the traffic is, and we'll go from there. Right now we're 8 miles from Awissa. We're basically just tracking southeasterly. Beautiful day today, nice and calm. I think, yeah, I got a 3-knot tailwind is the amount of it. So nice and stable air. It's always fun to fly in this kind of situation. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee, sip of coffee here while we were just straight and level. I think we briefed everything. Yeah, the only thing I didn't brief was our minimum descent height is 880 feet. So if we were in the weather, that would be time that we would have to back out of it. And since we're just practicing the instrument approach, and I don't have the safety pilot, I'm not under any view limiting devices, but the other thing I'll need to do is just keep an eye out for traffic. We do fly over Wings Field, so there's a decent amount of GA traffic there as well. So best for us just to make sure we're avoiding other traffic as we are getting into that. So let me go back to procedure. Activate the approach.
And 18 Tango's on a 45 for left downwind 5, Doylestown, looking at number 1.
Okay, we're 2.5 miles from Awissa. Got Wings Field right off the nose, so we'll just be mindful of that traffic. we will do the parallel entry. I think I said opposite entry earlier. We'll do the parallel entry to the procedure turn, and then we'll just be mindful of the class Bravo floor, which is just on the departure end of that procedure turn, as you can see there. We won't go that far. We'll just do enough to get ourselves able to turn around and get situated on the approach course. Interesting here is, I gotta figure this out, but the GI-275 is not putting in a procedure turn when we get to Awissa, so I find that to be a bit interesting.
And 1 Tango turning left base 5, Doylestown, number 1.
Okay, so actually we're going to go 230 on the outbound turn here. We'll track it for about a minute, give or take. Keep an eye out for any traffic at wings. I should actually probably go to their channel and listen in. That way we hear any traffic in the area.
Hazleton traffic, LV4, landing runway 28 on the RNAV. Any traffic, please advise. Hazleton.
There's a little puff there, but we're right above it, so I think we're good.
Nilvo traffic on at 7 Foxtrot Alpha. I'm 10 miles to the east, inbound for runway 10. Going to enter the left downwind. Millville traffic.
Okay, we're just coming up on the Bravo floor, so I'm going to turn here in just a minute. We also have traffic, so I want to be mindful of that. We're going to turn before this river, and that should keep us
to the southwest, inbound for runway 29, St. Mary's.
Okay, we're going to do a right turn, get back on the approach fix.
Shooting air off of St. Mary's, your southwest, what altitude you got?
Okay, that's standard right turn.
Got you,
Keeping an eye out for traffic.
no visuals yet, but we're...
Nice steam plumes or columns coming off of the Pottstown nuclear power plant there. What I should do here is put us back to direct to Awocus, and then that will get us
to the south, going to enter a left downwind for 25.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any wings traffic, surprisingly, but okay, so we'll track directly back to Awissa, and then we will start the approach into Doylestown. Keep it on wings for just a few seconds longer. Once we're 10 miles out, I'll switch over to Doylestown and start announcing ourselves.
Blairstown traffic, Skyline, area left downwind for 25 Blairstown.
Monmouth traffic, helicopters 5 miles to the
Okay, we're 1 mile from Awissa.
center, Monmouth.
Brownsville traffic, you have a Skyline.
We'll make a slight left turn to track the approach course of 049. Right now we're on 058 heading. No wind whatsoever, so that makes this super easy.
Gonna enter the left downwind at Millville traffic.
Okay, we're coming up on 1/3 of a mile for Awissa.
Short traffic, 75083 Juliet is...
And there's the switch over to Wocus. So now we're turning to track the inbound course. I'll also descend down to 2,000. So we'll just take that back to 2,000 RPMs, and we'll drop 300 feet and get down to 2,000. So I'll put 2,000 in the heading bug, and that will be the intercept altitude as well. Okay, so we're on course, and we're descending to 2,000.
Blairstown traffic, Starling turning west base, 25 Blairstown. Millville traffic, 987 touchdown. 3 miles east, inbound for runway 10, Millville traffic.
Okay, 2100 for 2,000. Not seeing any traffic this morning. Already got the runway for the airport in sight. At least the airfield in sight. Not so much of the runway yet. Okay, so there's 2,000, so we're going to hold at 2,000 RPMs.
2 miles to the west inbound for the jet center, Monmouth.
Blairstown traffic, Starling turning final, 25 Blairstown.
And Doylestown traffic, Tomahawk is 10 miles to the west on a practice RNAV 5 approach into runway 5, Doylestown. If any traffic comes in there, as with before, we will go ahead and accommodate traffic in the pattern since they have priority on a VFR day. That approach into Quakertown worked out in our favor that we just happened to catch a nice gap in traffic to be able to work ourselves in there. Okay, so I'm a little bit slow, add a little bit of power here. Get us to 90 knots, or close to 90 knots.
York traffic, 75083 Juliet, going to be on a 6 mile straight inbound for runway 35 York.
And actually, I think regardless of traffic, we'll go mist on this and just
traffic,
cruise around for another 15 minutes or so.
For runway 10, Millville traffic.
Okay, we're 2.7 miles to Wocus. That'll be the intercept point.
Skyhawk 17 Foxtrot call, established on the VOR 29, 8 mile final, Brownsville.
Sounds like a lot of people are practicing approaches today. It's a nice day to practice, actually. It's pretty calm out there, so, you know, if you're not used to flying approaches or you just want to make it easy on yourself, and if you're a student, it's a good time to be able to practice getting your scan in as well as just flying the airplane.
Traffic.
I remember when I was towards the end of my instrument flight training, there were a couple days we went up and we had some pretty gusting winds, and it can be a workout.
72 Victor, mic check.
But, you know, I think I mentioned before, when it comes to instrument flying, a lot of it is there's currency and there's proficiency, and proficiency fades much quicker than currency, so the more you do it, the better. Okay, we're 1 mile from Wocus. I'm seeing the glide slope LPV starting to come down, so once we intercept, we will go ahead and start our descent. I'm going to make another announcement here in about half a mile, and then we will track.
Hazleton traffic, Gulfstream 15 Echo Whiskey is flying over the field, 4,000 feet, right downwind, right base 28, Hazleton traffic.
And Doylestown traffic, Tomahawk is practice RNAV 05, runway 5. We will be going missed, Doylestown. Okay, so there's Wocus, there's glide slope intercept, so I'm going to cut back the power just a little bit so we can begin our descent and track that glide slope. We'll also go fuel pump on, we'll go mixture rich. So we got all our landing checks in, landing lights on. I pretty much keep the landing light on at all times. It's a LED light, they rarely burn out, and I think especially around here where we have a decent amount of traffic, it's always good just to have better visibility. Yeah, so real quick while we're on the approach, we're 4 miles from the runway. One of the other things I upgraded on the plane was for all the external lights, I went ahead and put in LED lights. Just better visibility. The strobes are also LED. We saved a couple pounds, probably like 3 pounds in total between the
traffic, Gulfstream 15 Echo Whiskey is making right down
the lights and the power box for the strobes.
Gulf traffic, Skyhawk 617, Foxtrot Golf. VOR 29, 3 mile final on 29.
Okay, we're just slightly high, so I'm going to pull power back just a wee bit. And Doylestown traffic, Tomahawk is practice RNAV 5, 3 miles out on a straight in. We'll be going missed at the missed approach, Doylestown.
Wrong frequency for Doylestown.
Appreciate that, thank you. And Doylestown traffic, Tomahawk is on a 3 mile straight in, practice RNAV 5. We're going to go missed at the missed approach point, Doylestown. Alright, so there's an example, right? I'm talking to you guys, and I did not do my radio switch over as I said I would. So, you know, you make mistakes at times. Fortunately, I did not see any traffic in the pattern, but again, little things like that are things that you always got to pay attention to and learn from. Okay, so from an approach standpoint, we're a little high. I got distracted on that. We're passing 1,000 feet. MDA is 880, so we are going to go missed at the MDA. I see the departing aircraft. Okay, so there is the MDA, so we'll hold it here. And Doylestown traffic, Tomahawk's going missed. We have the departing traffic in sight. We'll fly upwind, Doylestown.
Appreciate that. 345 Bravo.
And 345 Bravo, are you staying on the pattern or which way are you departing?
We're going to stay in the pattern. Stay in the pattern.
Right, so we have the departing traffic in sight, and we will just make sure we keep separation from him.
November 445 Bravo, 15 miles to the east, correction to the west. We're going to maneuver for the 45-degree entry onto left down, runway 5, Doylestown.
So even though I flew around VFR for a little bit after this approach, I went ahead and cut the video down to my approach to landing at Doylestown.
And Doylestown traffic, Tomahawk is left base, runway 5, Doylestown.
Doylestown traffic, Jack, November 445 Bravo, over the core, getting to 45 for left down, 15 Doylestown. Doylestown traffic, 345 Bravo, departing pattern north Doylestown.
And Doylestown traffic, Tomahawk's turning final, runway 5, Doylestown. Okay, full flaps. He's still on the runway. Timing should be good. Got a Hawk at 12 o'clock. Should be no factor.
Doylestown traffic, Cessna 34 Alpha uniform clear, runway 5, Doylestown. Doylestown traffic, Scock, November 445 Bravo, midfield left down, 15 Doylestown.
Well, I certainly appreciate you hanging out for these two approaches. I did cut this video down as much as possible without losing the integrity of the approaches. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are two lessons I walked away from. The first one being to pay attention to my radios. I know I was somewhat exasperated by the fact that I wasn't talking to ATC, but I should still always make sure I'm on the right frequency when I'm doing an approach or any other time when I'm changing phases of flight. And then the second one was with the GPS itself. When I was setting up the approaches in the GPS, I was picking the initial approach point as a direct fix instead of setting the approach up in total, and that was removing any holds and or procedure turns, and that's why those did not show up in either of the approaches. Easy lesson to learn, but again, it's just remembering how to use your GPS and functionality when flying. More importantly, I appreciate you taking the time to fly with me. Hopefully you learned something from this as well, and as always, please like, subscribe, and I look forward to having you fly with me again in the near future.